All right, an update now on Pope Francis, who has been hospitalized for 13 days now for pneumonia.
Have you heard the shocking news about Pope Francis? Rumors are swirling that something big is brewing in Rome, and it could change the church forever. The partnership of Pope Francis and Luis Tagle is legendary, but fresh reports claim a dramatic twist is on the horizon. Some say Tagle might become the next big name to watch. Others worry about pushback from critics. Are you absolutely ready to uncover the secret that has everyone talking right now? Cardinal Tagle's rise. Cardinal Luis Antonio. Tagle's rise within the Catholic Church has been marked by humility, service, and a passion for reaching ordinary people. Born in the Philippines, he quickly gained a reputation for his gentle style and focus on grassroots ministry. When he became Archbishop of Manila, many were struck by his hands-on approach, spending time in slum areas and comforting disaster victims. That personal touch, guided by empathy, set him apart from more traditional church figures. Tagle's reputation soared after his response to Typhoon Haiyan in 2013. He not only dispatched aid but visited affected communities, holding hands with survivors and sharing their grief. This commitment to direct engagement earned him loyal followers and attracted attention from Pope Francis, who saw echoes of his own ideals in Tagle's leadership. By appointing Tagle as prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples in 2019, Pope Francis highlighted his trust in Tagle's ability to inspire believers across continents. The role, often called the Red Pope, oversees missionary efforts in essential growth regions such as Asia and Africa. Many see this position as a key step toward even greater responsibilities. While some traditionalist forces worry about Tagle's progressive stance, he remains dedicated to building paths of understanding and compassion. His track record suggests a leader who believes in active listening, modern outreach, and a church that welcomes everyone. Whether he eventually ascends to the highest office or not, Cardinal Tagle's rise continues to signal a fresh wave of hope, unity, and service in the modern Catholic world. He remains deeply significant worldwide. Pope Francis and Tagle's shared vision. Pope Francis and Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle share a vision centered on service, humility, and empathy toward those on the margins. From the start of his papacy, Francis made it known he envisioned a church open to everyone, especially the poor. In Tagle, he sees a fellow advocate who believes in reaching out through dialogue, compassion, and acts of justice. While Francis aims to move beyond mere tradition, Tagle has done the same in Manila and within the Vatican. They replace top-down authority with listening and personal contact, signaling a shift toward a more grounded faith. Together, they model leadership defined not by power, but by mercy, sparking a renewed perspective on what it means to be church. Their shared approach is grounded in the belief that the mission of the church must echo Christ's love for humanity. Pope Francis regularly challenges fellow clergy to leave behind comfort and go among the people, while Tagle mirrors this duty by immersing himself in local hardships, from the slums of Manila to remote communities worldwide. Both men champion simpler lifestyles, focusing on prayer, compassion, and genuine friendship rather than formality. Their vision also extends to interfaith dialogue, seeking unity across religious lines. Despite resistance from more traditional sectors, they continue to make the church more relevant by addressing pressing issues like poverty, climate change, and migration. By placing mercy over judgment, Pope Francis and Cardinal Tagle invite all believers to see faith as a living act of service. In doing so, they redefine how the church engages with our evolving, diverse world. Speculation about Tagle's future. Speculation about Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle's future is intensifying across the global Catholic community. Ever since Pope Francis appointed him as prefect for the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples, many have wondered if Tagle could be the next face of a rapidly evolving church. His heartfelt approach and grassroots focus mirror Pope Francis's own ideals, prompting talk that he might step into an even more influential role. Yet uncertainty remains. Traditionalists question whether Tagle's progressive style might disrupt centuries-old doctrines, while supporters applaud his willingness to engage with modern social issues. He famously led relief efforts in disaster-stricken regions, shaping an image of a church rooted in real-life struggles rather than distant authority. Some Vatican insiders point to Cardinal Pietro Parolin, known for his diplomatic expertise, as a more conservative alternative. For Tagle, rising beyond his current position could mean guiding the Church toward expanded outreach in Asia and Africa, communities where Catholicism still flourishes. However, ongoing tensions between reformers and traditionalists create obstacles for any swift transition. Pope Francis has not publicly named a successor, leaving significant room for debate. Still, Tagle's supporters believe his genuine empathy, theological insight, and unwavering dedication could reshape the papacy. Others argue that a more moderate leader would offer reassurance in uncertain times. While it remains unclear how Vatican politics will unfold, Cardinal Tagle's evolving role continues to spark fascination worldwide. For now, Catholics watch closely, debating whether his compassionate leadership will become the defining hallmark of the Church's future. The outcome could determine whether he becomes a transformative figure forever remembered. Tagle's global influence. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle has emerged as a key figure bridging cultural divides while shaping the Catholic Church's expanding global reach. Born in the Philippines, he quickly became well known for his ability to connect with everyday people, highlighting compassion over formality. This approach resonates strongly with Pope Francis's own ideals, placing Tagle at the forefront of missions extending across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. As prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples, sometimes called the Red Pope, Tagle oversees vast missionary efforts that reach millions. His gentle listening style invites dialogue even in areas facing religious or cultural strife, emphasizing that the Church should adapt to local realities rather than impose rigid structures. This inclusive mindset has garnered admiration worldwide, particularly in communities where Catholicism is steadily growing. Beyond these missionary roles, Tagle promotes social justice initiatives, advocating for refugees and the poor. By partnering with global relief organizations, he stresses the Church's duty to respond to crises of poverty and displacement. His leadership of Caritas Internationalis showcased how faith can inspire tangible action on hunger and inequality. Not only does he bring compassion to the global forefront, Tagle also encourages respect for diverse cultures. By embracing dialogue with leaders of other faiths, he highlights the shared responsibility all religions hold in promoting peace. Tagle's leadership style. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle leads with empathy, humility, and a heartfelt commitment to serving ordinary people. Unlike leaders who stay distant from their flock, Tagle goes straight into communities, visiting slums, comforting disaster victims, and genuinely listening to their stories. This hands-on approach has shaped his leadership style, reflecting a simple yet powerful belief: authority is best exercised by serving those in need. When Typhoon Haiyan struck the Philippines in 2013, Tagle's response became a notable example of his compassionate leadership. He organized relief efforts, but more importantly, he showed up personally, sitting among survivors and offering words of hope. By prioritizing presence and connection, he underscored how leaders can inspire trust and unity simply by being close to the people they serve. Tagle also champions an inclusive view of the Church, encouraging open dialogue rather than imposing top-down directives. He speaks about complex religious matters in an approachable manner, ensuring that faith remains accessible to everyday Catholics. This inclusive stance extends to his efforts in interfaith outreach, where he believes in finding common ground across religious lines. Critics sometimes view his focus on compassion as a move away from strict tradition, but Tagle maintains that authentic church leadership must address real-world struggles. He blends genuine warmth with a strong commitment to Catholic teachings, insisting that faith and service are inseparable. Traditionalist Resistance. Despite the blossoming partnership between Pope Francis and Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, not everyone shares their progressive outlook. Traditionalist factions within the Church see their openness to reform, especially on issues like climate change, poverty relief, and interfaith dialogue, as a break from the Church's long-standing customs. They argue that focusing too heavily on social concerns dilutes core doctrine and undermines fundamental teachings. This rising tension is evident in how Tagle's personal warmth and grassroots focus resonate with some believers, yet unsettle others who value formality and hierarchical order. Often referred to as traditionalist resistance, These concerns reflect a fear that the Church's ancient structures could be overshadowed by new priorities. Leaders like Cardinal Pietro Parolin, admired for his diplomatic skill and adherence to established authority, represent a contrasting voice in the ongoing debate. They maintain that without a strong grounding in tradition, the Church risks losing its identity. Moreover, critics point to Pope Francis's emphasis on transparency and financial reform as potentially destabilizing, especially when it uncovers hidden or questionable practices within the Vatican. For Cardinal Tagle, navigating such opposition requires balancing compassion with a respect for Catholic doctrine. He remains firm that serving marginalized communities and making faith accessible to the poor must guide Church leadership in modern times. His stance mirrors Pope Francis's call for unity, love, and humility, but it also highlights the deep divide that faces the Church. A church for the marginalized. One of Pope Francis's most defining themes has been his call for a church for the marginalized, encouraging everyone to prioritize compassion over rigid traditions. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle has fully embraced this goal, reflecting a deep concern for the poor, the homeless, and those often forgotten by society. Through direct involvement in disaster relief and outreach, Tagle sends a clear signal that faith should be practiced among the people, not just preached behind closed doors. In line with Pope Francis's emphasis on social justice, Tagle has promoted programs that provide food, shelter, and urgent care to those in need. He believes that faith cannot remain distant from modern struggles, and that the Church is called to break down barriers, welcoming everyone regardless of background or status. By championing empathy and solidarity, Tagle and Francis represent a dynamic force for change within the Catholic Church. Still, critics caution that focusing too heavily on social causes might overshadow core Catholic teachings. Yet Pope Francis and Tagle argue that service lies at the heart of the gospel, and that loving our neighbors means actively fighting injustice. Their aim is not to disregard tradition, but to ensure the Church remains relevant and accessible to the faithful, especially those who feel excluded in a rapidly changing world. Potential papal rivalry. The Catholic Church is abuzz with rumors of a potential rivalry between Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle and Cardinal Pietro Parolin. Both share a deep devotion to the Church, yet their paths diverge in style and vision. Tagle emphasizes closeness to everyday believers, championing outreach to the marginalized and placing compassion above protocol. Known for his warmth and engagement, he has drawn admiration from those who favor a more personal approach to leadership. Meanwhile, Parolin operates at the core of Vatican diplomacy, prizing structure and tradition. His supporters highlight his vast administrative insight, seeing him as a careful guardian of Catholic continuity. Pope Francis's trust in Tagle, shown by giving him a prestigious missionary role, has led to speculation about Tagle's higher ambitions. Many hope his personal touch could invigorate an evolving Church. Yet the more traditional side wonders if Tagle's approach risks diluting ancient teachings. At the same time, Parolin's steady guidance appeals to those concerned about far-reaching reforms. Some see him as a safe pair of hands, expertly handling complex global challenges without rocking the boat. While there is no open conflict, tensions simmer behind the scenes. Each leader represents different philosophies. One aims for a bold shift to keep pace with modern realities, while the other champions cautious stewardship. This perceived rivalry encapsulates the broader struggle between change and tradition. As Catholics worldwide watch in anticipation, the question remains: which vision will shape the Church's future? And could this subtle competition determine the next papal direction? Time will reveal whether one emerges as the guiding force of Catholicism. Tagle's Interfaith Advocacy. Tagle's commitment to interfaith advocacy has made him a figure in bridging divides among diverse religious communities. The Catholic Church holds a unique place in global society, and Tagle recognizes that collaboration can lead to enduring solidarity. He focuses on personal encounters, believing that true dialogue begins with listening to others' experiences and acknowledging their dignity. By prioritizing open communication with leaders from Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, and other faiths, Tagle fosters an atmosphere of mutual respect. One of the ways Tagle works toward interfaith understanding is by encouraging programs that address shared social issues. He believes that communities, regardless of their beliefs, can unite in helping the poor, caring for the environment, and welcoming refugees. Through these common efforts, barriers fall, and genuine friendship can grow. In many settings, Tagle has highlighted how religions share moral values, such as compassion, love, and justice. By focusing on points of agreement rather than differences, he demonstrates that interfaith engagement can be productive and healing. Critics argue that emphasizing collaborative efforts diverts from important theological distinctions, but Tagle asserts that open conversation does not compromise core beliefs. Instead, it enhances understanding and fosters respect. As Cardinal Prefect overseeing missionary work, Tagle has taken interfaith dialogue beyond simple courtesy visits. He encourages ongoing conversations, joint projects, and shared worship spaces when possible. This approach aligns with Pope Francis's call for a more inclusive church, showing that unity in action can transcend doctrinal walls. Tagle's advocacy has proven that when people come together over common causes, faith can be a force for true global cooperation. A historic moment for the Church. Pope Francis's support for Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle has sparked excitement within the Catholic Church. By recognizing Tagle's work in Manila and giving him a Vatican role, Francis signaled a fresh path for church leadership. This shift suggests compassion, humility, and closeness to everyday struggles are now central to the global vision. The possibility of Tagle rising further shines a spotlight on places once seen as far from Rome. It shows a church ready to adapt, honor diverse cultures, and speak boldly about social concerns. Many call this moment historic because it shifts focus away from traditional centers and welcomes voices from Asia, Africa, and Latin America. By embracing these perspectives, Francis highlights a dynamic future. This transition is not only about two figures, but also about the Church's direction. By stressing service and outreach, the Church aligns leadership with real needs in cities and remote villages. Tagle's path mirrors this mission. He has shown a down-to-earth style, bridging gaps and offering hope to many. As the Church moves ahead, it faces debates about tradition, reform, and global outreach. Yet Francis and Tagle share a vision of unity, urging all Catholics to practice mercy and dialogue. In this light, the current era marks a historic moment, with the Church welcoming voices once overlooked and inspiring believers worldwide through a faith shaped by ground-level realities.
I have come back in time to reveal the events of the future!
The Simpsons has predicted some major historical events and some completely random things like this.
Do you care who the next president is?
No.
Come with me.
As we enter 2025, global headlines are dominated by unsettling news about Pope Francis's fragile condition and prolonged hospitalization, intensifying worldwide anxiety. Amid these somber times, The Simpsons emerges as an unlikely oracle, having repeatedly predicted events that mirror our current reality. With satirical precision, the show has forecast everything from political reversals to technological breakthroughs. One particularly chilling prediction involves the untimely demise of a pope, a storyline that now rings disturbingly true: Trump's return. Few moments in The Simpsons' history have generated as much buzz as the prophetic twist in the episode Bart to the Future. Originally aired in 2000, the episode humorously envisioned a future where Donald Trump and his tumultuous populist leadership came to power.
Picture going around online this month. It claims to show a screenshot of a 2002 episode of The Simpsons that eerily mirrors real-life events. It shows Donald Trump touching a glowing orb with two Middle Eastern-looking men. Well, last month, President Trump did just that with the King of Saudi Arabia and the President of Egypt.
At the time, the storyline was pure satire. However, when Trump's election in 2016 and his subsequent return to office in January 2025 turned the narrative into reality, the prediction's impact was nothing short of astonishing. In Bart to the Future, viewers are introduced to a dystopic vision of America marked by chaotic fiscal policies, public disillusionment, and widespread governmental dysfunction, all hallmarks of Trump's presidency. The episode uses razor-sharp wit to underscore the absurdity of contemporary politics, offering a hyperbolic glimpse at America's struggles with economic collapse, contentious policy decisions, and an ever-deepening political divide. As 2025 unfolds, the reality of Trump's second coming reinforces the idea that what was once dismissible comedy now mirrors our political landscape with an unsettling degree of accuracy. Moreover, the episode's mix of ironic humor and stark social commentary underscores a deeper truth: that political satire, regardless of its exaggeration, often contains elements that later crystallize into real-world events. Bart to the Future serves as both entertainment and a cultural wake-up call, reminding us how the whimsical predictions of a cartoon can closely parallel the tumult of modern democracies. The Simpsons, through this episode, force us to examine the volatile nature of political power and the profound consequences that can ensue when theory and reality converge. The virtual reality revolution. In a striking forecast of technological advancements, the episode Future Visions presents a future where immersive virtual reality is part of everyday life. Originally conceived as a playful exploration of how technology might radically reshape human experience, the episode introduces viewers to a revolutionary virtual reality headset that allows users to transcend physical boundaries and interact with digital worlds. This satirical glimpse into the future bears an uncanny resemblance to the modern Apple Vision Pro, which now enables a seamless blend of augmented and virtual reality. Future Visions is not just a flight of fancy. It is a commentary on the transformative potential of technology. By imagining a world where virtual landscapes are as vivid and real as physical ones, the episode compelled viewers to reconsider the nature of human interaction and entertainment. Today, as cutting-edge VR and AR devices redefine how we work, learn, and play, the parallels with the episode become increasingly apparent. The Simpsons' prediction resonates with those witnessing the growing trend of digital immersion, influencing everything from education and remote work to how we socialize in an age dominated by digital connectivity. As virtual experiences continue to proliferate, Future Visions stands as a testament to the prescient creativity of the Simpsons writers. Their vision of a world where geographical boundaries dissolve in favor of digital freedom reminds us that technological progress often outpaces our expectations. This prediction not only underscores the evolution of consumer tech, but also cautions us about the social implications of losing touch with physical reality. It challenges viewers to balance the allure of the digital world with the need for genuine human connection, a duality that remains integral to understanding where our future is headed. Holographic Communication. While Bart to the Future is best known for its political prophecy, it also includes an early glimpse into the future of communication through holography. In one memorable scene, Bart receives a holographic message that transcends the limitations of traditional screens and phone calls. The episode envisions a world where holograms become the primary medium for interaction, replacing two-dimensional displays with fully immersive, three-dimensional projections that make communication more lifelike and personal. This prediction is particularly striking when compared to today's emerging holographic technologies. With companies like Microsoft and Meta investing heavily in mixed reality, the concept of hologram-based communication is rapidly moving from science fiction to reality. The idea of swapping out your smartphone for a device that projects full-color, interactive images in mid-air not only excites tech enthusiasts, but also hints at a future where virtual and physical experiences merge seamlessly. The Simpsons' portrayal of holographic communication in Bart to the Future is a vivid illustration of how technology can transform the way we connect. By imagining a future where conversations are as vivid as live interactions, the episode challenges us to reimagine the very nature of presence and interaction in a digital age. This prediction serves as both inspiration and a gentle caution. While the tech promises to bring us closer, it also raises crucial questions about privacy, data security, and the authenticity of our mediated relationships. In this way, The Simpsons not only forecast technological advancements, but also invite us to reflect on their broader societal implications. Hovercars, urban mobility redefined. Hovercars have long been a staple of futuristic visions, and The Simpsons knew how to capture this dream with whimsical precision in the episode Sky High Springfield. In this imaginative installment, Bart and Lisa traverse the skies of Springfield in sleek, hovering vehicles, a scenario that, at the time, seemed like nothing more than far-fetched comedy.
Eastern Airlines presents The World of Tomorrow. Don't walk, fly.
Yet today, advancements in aerospace engineering and urban air mobility have made the once impossible dream increasingly attainable. Sky High Springfield is a delightful blend of fantasy and foresight. The episode not only entertains viewers with high-flying antics, but also challenges us to envision a future where traditional roadways become obsolete. Pioneering companies and tech visionaries, inspired by the concepts showcased in the episode, are actively working on prototypes and systems that could revolutionize urban transportation. Elon Musk and innovative startups have hinted at technologies that might enable flying automobiles within the next few years, blurring the line between science fiction and reality. The portrayal of hover cars in Sky High Springfield resonates as both an aspirational dream and a commentary on human ingenuity. It encourages us to push the boundaries of current technology while acknowledging the practical challenges, such as infrastructure development, air traffic control, and regulatory hurdles that must be overcome to realize such a future. As we approach 2025, the ideas presented in this Simpsons episode serve as a powerful reminder of our species' relentless pursuit of progress, even when that progress seems as outlandish as floating through the skies in synchronized flight. Self-driving car malfunctions. Autonomous vehicles have emerged as an area where optimism and caution often stand side by side. In the episode The Days of Future, The Simpsons explore the quirky pitfalls of self-driving cars through a series of humorous yet unsettling scenarios.
Hey, look, nobody's driving.
Relax, everybody. The Navitron auto drive system is driving the truck for me.
The plot centers on a self-driving car that spectacularly malfunctions, refusing to halt for a desperate passenger or making erratic decisions that highlight just how unpredictable automated technology can be. This particular segment of the show is both hilarious and prescient, accurately reflecting the current state of autonomous vehicle technology. Despite significant advancements by companies like Tesla, Waymo, and other innovators pushing the automation envelope, real-life incidents continue to raise concerns about reliability and safety. The Simpsons' portrayal of technological glitches in The Days of Future serves as a reminder that even the most advanced systems have their imperfections. The episode encapsulates the broader societal anxiety associated with ceding control to artificial intelligence. In its blend of slapstick humor and cold caution, The Days of Future encourages us to scrutinize the rapid adoption of self-driving technology. The narrative suggests that while automation promises a future of convenience and efficiency, it also requires rigorous safeguards, ethical considerations, and constant oversight to avoid potentially disastrous outcomes. As we witness the gradual integration of autonomous cars into everyday life, this Simpsons prediction stands as both a warning and an invitation to engage critically with emerging technologies. Solar-powered vehicles. Long before sustainable energy became a global mandate, The Simpsons already envisioned an eco-friendly future in the episode Path to Glory. In this inventive installment, Lisa Simpson creates a solar-powered car for an alternative energy race. However, in a humorous twist, her project is compromised when a massive Duff Banner plane inadvertently blocks the sun, rendering the vehicle powerless.
Dad, I'm so excited. I think... Hey, please don't stand so close. In the world of solar power, shadows are the arch enemy.
This subplot is not only entertaining, it's also a prescient commentary on the challenges facing renewable energy technologies that depend on unpredictable natural resources. Today, solar-powered vehicles are transitioning from the realm of speculative fiction to practical development. With governments and corporations investing billions in clean energy, the dream of a fully solar-powered transportation system has never been closer. Path to Glory captures the optimism and the potential pitfalls of this technological revolution. It serves as a reminder that while renewable energy offers an exciting alternative to fossil fuels, real-world applications must contend with variables such as weather, efficiency, and infrastructure constraints. The episode's humorous take on solar vehicle failure underscores a broader truth. Technological innovation is often a mixed bag of breakthroughs and setbacks. As solar cars edge toward commercial viability, designers and engineers continue to refine their models in anticipation of a future where cleaner, sustainable transportation is the norm. In this way, The Simpsons not only forecast a major technological trend, but also provide a platform for discussing the practical challenges that accompany revolutionary ideas. Papal Prophecy. In the episode Papal Prophecy, The Simpsons boldly ventured into a storyline involving the declining health and eventual passing of a beloved pope. The narrative portrays a frail pontiff struggling with illness before succumbing, triggering a global spiritual crisis. While initially intended as dark satire, this episode feels eerily relevant today in light of Pope Francis's current health struggles. Reports of his hospitalization, pneumonia diagnosis, and slow recovery have sparked significant concern worldwide, mirroring the somber tones of the episode. In Papal Prophecy, the show also explores the aftermath of such a loss, depicting the Vatican in chaos and millions of people mourning the passing of a spiritual leader. The episode underscores how the death of a pope could destabilize the Catholic Church, leaving a leadership vacuum and unsettling millions of followers. The storyline, though exaggerated for comedic effect, raises thought-provoking questions about the fragility of institutions and the impact of losing a global figurehead. Today, with Pope Francis resting in a hospital wing and the Vatican providing sparse updates, the parallels between reality and The Simpsons' fictional narrative are striking.
Pope Francis has now spent an entire week in Rome's Gemelli Hospital receiving treatment for double pneumonia.
The prediction serves as a chilling reminder of the show's uncanny ability to reflect real-world anxieties, leaving fans wondering if the writers of The Simpsons somehow foresaw this moment in history. Whether coincidence or calculated satire, Papal Prophecy adds another layer to the show's reputation for eerily accurate predictions. Economic collapse and fiscal turbulence. Economic instability is a recurring theme in The Simpsons, and nowhere is it more starkly portrayed than in Treehouse of Horror 9. In this darkly comedic episode, the narrative depicts a total collapse of Springfield's economy, leading to a cascade of financial mismanagement, unemployment, and widespread despair. Homer's precarious job at the nuclear power plant becomes emblematic of a larger systemic failure, one that mirrors the real-world economic volatility we often witness in global markets. The Simpsons' depiction of fiscal collapse strikes a particularly resonant chord in 2025, a time when many nations are grappling with inflation, mounting debt, and unpredictable market fluctuations. Treehouse of Horror 9 uses biting satire to point out that economic systems, no matter how robust they seem, are vulnerable to a series of miscalculations and external shocks.
We're broke. The country is broke? How can that be? Well, remember when the last administration decided to invest in our nation's children? Big mistake.
The episode's portrayal of economic chaos is not merely intended for comic relief. It also serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of overextension and inadequate regulatory oversight. AI taking over jobs. In the episode The Devil's Dismissal, featured as part of a Treehouse of Horror segment, The Simpsons take aim at the rising influence of artificial intelligence in the workforce. In a hilariously grim twist, Homer and his colleagues are suddenly replaced by efficient, impersonal machines, leading to job losses and social upheaval.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet the future masters of the human race.
Comic-Con nerds!
You fool, these are robots. You will train them, and they will replace you.
This segment brilliantly encapsulates the growing anxiety that automation and AI might render human labor obsolete. an issue that has only become more relevant as AI-driven technologies advance at breakneck speed. Even as AI promises to revolutionize productivity, The Simpsons' nightmarish scenario in The Devil's Dismissal serves as a timely warning about the consequences of unchecked technological progress. Today, from manufacturing to service industries, technology is disrupting traditional employment models. The episode's portrayal of a workplace transformed by ruthless automation forces us to consider the ethical and social ramifications of replacing human workers with machines. It underscores the need for robust policies that safeguard human dignity in the age of digital transformation, while ensuring the benefits of technological innovation are equitably shared. By exaggerating the impact of AI in a way that is both humorous and tragic, The Simpsons challenge us to confront the realities of a rapidly evolving job market. Their narrative reminds us that while AI can drive efficiency and innovation, it also requires us to redefine our roles as workers and citizens in an increasingly automated world. The cautionary tale woven into The Devil's Dismissal is an essential piece of the broader conversation about the future of work in 2025. Cryptocurrency takes center stage. In a striking departure from traditional currency systems, the episode Lisa's Presidency offers a daring vision of the future where cryptocurrency becomes the backbone of the national economy. In this narrative twist, a financially beleaguered nation is revealed to have its economic stability secured by Bitcoin, effectively replacing traditional money with digital currency. At a time when the world is witnessing the profound impact of blockchain technology on finance, this prediction hardly seems far-fetched. Lisa's Presidency taps into both the excitement and the uncertainty surrounding emerging digital currencies. The episode predicts that cryptocurrencies, once deemed a futuristic novelty, will transform global financial systems by providing unprecedented levels of decentralization and transparency. In 2025, as more governments and corporations explore digital currencies and the infrastructure around them becomes increasingly robust, The Simpsons' vision is fast becoming a reality. However, the narrative also raises important questions about volatility, regulation, and security, concerns that continue to populate discussions in financial circles today. The foresight exhibited in Lisa's Presidency is a testament to the creative genius of The Simpsons, who managed to capture the zeitgeist of a financial revolution years before it began. By imagining a future built on cryptocurrency, the show not only entertains, but also sparks thoughtful debate on the evolving nature of money and economic governance. As cryptocurrencies gain traction and governments explore the feasibility of national digital currencies, this prediction stands as an enduring symbol of The Simpsons' uncanny ability to foresee trends that would reshape our world. California fires. We're starting off with the January 2025 California fires that have been a frightening reality for people around the world. Strangely, it seems The Simpsons saw it coming years ago. In Season 18, Episode 12, titled Little Big Girl, Springfield faces a raging forest fire that threatens the entire town. What makes this episode stand out? Bart starts the fire during one of his mischievous pranks. What begins as a harmless joke quickly turns into chaos, with flames spreading uncontrollably. The fire destroys homes, trees, and everything in its path, leaving Springfield's firefighters struggling to contain the disaster. Fans of The Simpsons are convinced this episode predicted the California wildfires because the scenes look eerily similar to real events. But is it really a prediction, or just a wild coincidence? The Simpsons has a knack for turning real-world issues into gripping stories. Whether they predicted it or not, the eerie resemblance keeps fans talking. If you think these fires being predicted is odd, wait till you see what's next on this list. Trump's presidential election win. The Simpsons have also extended their predictions into the political world. Back in 2000, in an episode called Bart to the Future, the show made a bold joke about Donald Trump being president. In the episode, Lisa Simpson, the new president, talks about how her first job is fixing the mess left by Trump, who was president before her.
And it seems The Simpsons just can't wait for next season to deal with Donald Trump. The Simpsons released this video online tonight.
The funny part is that this was years before Trump even ran for office. Now that Donald Trump is getting inaugurated as president in January this new year after winning the 2024 United States presidential election, people wonder if The Simpsons saw it coming. But that's not the only prediction that came from this episode. Keep watching to find out what the other one is. First female president. In The Simpsons, there's a moment that some people believe predicted the first female president of the United States.
Yes, I am proud to be America's first straight female president.
This prediction happened in the same 2000 episode that predicted Trump becoming president. In this episode, Lisa Simpson becomes the first female president of the United States. When Lisa takes office, she faces a country in huge debt, and she has to figure out how to solve the problems left by the previous president. What makes this prediction so interesting is that years later, in 2016, a woman, Hillary Clinton, ran for president. Though she didn't win, many fans think the episode was predicting that a woman could one day take charge of the country. Barbie movie and Trump's arrest. One of The Simpsons' most surprising predictions came in the 2007 episode Lisa vs. Malibu Stacy, where the show casually mentioned the release of a Barbie movie. The Barbie movie was just a joke in the episode, but years later, it actually happened. The Barbie movie became a huge success, just like the show hinted. Fans were amazed at how The Simpsons seemed to know about it before it even existed. But that's not all. The show also predicted something even bigger. In the same episode, a news anchor casually says that the US president was arrested. Fast forward to 2023, and Donald Trump was arrested, just like the show had joked about. It's strange to think that The Simpsons might have seen all this coming, leaving fans questioning how they got it so right. Hologram. It's not a surprise that some people believe The Simpsons predicted holograms before they became a real thing. In a 2003 episode called Treehouse of Horror 13, we see something strange. During a spooky story, Homer interacts with holographic images. These images look like they are floating in the air. At the time, holograms seemed like something out of a science fiction movie, but now, holograms are real. We see them in concerts, where famous singers who have passed away perform again using holograms. Some companies also use holograms for meetings and events. Fans of The Simpsons believe this episode shows how the show looks into the future. Artificial intelligence. The Simpsons has surprised fans with how it seems to predict the future, and artificial intelligence, also known as AI, is no exception. In the 2012 episode titled Them, Robot, Mr. Burns replaces all his employees at the nuclear power plant with robots. At first, these AI robots seem perfect. They are efficient, tireless, and do exactly what they are programmed to do. But soon, things take a dark turn when the robots malfunction and cause chaos. This episode feels like a warning about relying too much on technology. While AI can make life easier, The Simpsons shows how it can also create problems if we're not careful. Fans wonder if this episode predicted the rise of AI, especially with how robots are becoming more common in real life. But these robots aren't the only futuristic predictions made by The Simpsons. Let's find out what other incredible futuristic predictions the show has revealed. Flying cars. Many people believe The Simpsons predicted flying cars, and it's easy to see why. In Season 16, Episode 15 titled Future Drama, the show gives a peek into the future. In this future, Homer and Bart ride in a floating car that zips through the air. It's exciting, fun, and looks exactly like what people imagine when they dream about flying cars. The idea of flying cars has been around for decades, and many think The Simpsons was ahead of its time by showing them on TV. Some fans believe the show wasn't just being creative, it was predicting what could become real. Today, tech companies are working hard to make flying cars a reality, so maybe The Simpsons wasn't far off. Disney buying Fox. In 1998, The Simpsons aired an episode that has now become one of its most famous predictions. In the episode When You Dish Upon a Star, Homer meets a Hollywood big shot and sees how the powerful movie industry works. At one point, a sign appears showing 20th Century Fox being bought by Disney. The show was just making fun of Hollywood at the time, but fans now see it as a prediction. In 2017, Disney announced it was buying 21st, which owns 20th Century Fox.
680's Richard Southern joins us now. And Richard, it's a massive deal that reshapes the entertainment biz. So Disney is buying a big chunk of Fox.
The timing made people feel like The Simpsons knew this would happen, even though it aired almost 20 years earlier. The idea of a huge company like Disney buying another giant was seen as something that could happen in the future, but no one thought it would happen so soon. Virtual reality. Next on this list is virtual reality. In an episode titled Friends and Family, we see Mr. Burns using a futuristic headset. This headset lets him enter a world that feels real, even though it's all just technology. The episode came out in 2016, and while VR headsets were becoming popular then, they weren't completely mainstream. Fans believe this was a clear sign that The Simpsons saw virtual reality coming. Homer's goofy actions in the virtual world make the episode funny, but it also shows how this tech could one day change how we live, play, and work. Today, virtual reality is everywhere, from games and education to even healthcare. Did The Simpsons predict it? Or was it just a lucky guess? Either way, this episode keeps proving that this animated show might just be ahead of its time. The end of the world. In the episode Thank God It's Doomsday, Homer Simpson learns about the possibility of the world ending, and the idea gets people talking. In the episode, a natural disaster threatens to destroy Springfield, and people start to panic. They think the world might really end, but Homer tries to stay calm, even though everything seems to fall apart around him. The interesting part is that The Simpsons predicted similar events in other episodes, where natural disasters, wars, and other dangers seem to signal the end of the world. Let's get into what these natural disasters are. Large-scale natural disasters. Over the years, many fans have noticed that The Simpsons has shown disasters like earthquakes, tsunamis, and floods before they even happened. One of the most famous predictions was an earthquake. In an episode called The City of New York vs. Homer Simpson, the show showed Homer at the World Trade Center years before the 9/11 attacks. This shocked many people because it felt too real. Another prediction was about a huge tsunami. In the episode Bart to the Future, there was a scene that seemed to show a huge wave coming to destroy everything, just like a tsunami. This made people wonder if the show knew something before it happened. Many believe that the writers just used their imagination, but it's still fun to think about how The Simpsons might be predicting big disasters we can't see coming. Economic crisis. In a 2000 episode called Bart to the Future, the show imagines a future where the economy collapses. The show even suggests that this happens under President Trump. The idea of a crash seemed like a funny, far-off joke back then, but years later, the United States actually elected Donald Trump as president, and the economy faced some big struggles. In the episode, the economy falls apart, and people suffer. Fast forward to today, and some people feel that The Simpsons might have been onto something. With rising debt and tensions between countries, it seems like the world could be heading in that direction. Whether the show truly predicted the future or just got lucky, its ability to reflect real-world problems has made fans keep their eyes open for more possible predictions. U.S. men's curling team winning gold. In 2010, The Simpsons aired an episode called Boy Meets Curl, and in this episode, Homer and Marge become an unexpected curling team. They end up surprising everyone by winning a gold medal at the Winter Olympics, beating Sweden. It was a funny and unlikely story, as curling was not something the US was known for. Homer and Marge's victory was a shocking twist, just like how many people didn't expect the US to do well in curling. Fast forward to the 2018 Winter Olympics, and something unbelievable happened. The US men's curling team, led by John Schuster, won the gold medal, just like The Simpsons predicted. They defeated Sweden, just like in the show. It was a huge surprise and reminded fans of the episode, Suppression of Green Energy. In the episode The Last Temptation of Homer, which aired in 1993, there is a scene where a character named Hans Moleman tries to sell solar-powered energy at a convention, but before he can get any attention, a big company that sells fossil fuels comes in and shuts him down. The whole scene is funny, but it also makes a serious point. Over the years, many fans noticed that The Simpsons was predicting something big. In real life, people have been talking a lot about renewable energy, like solar power, to fight climate change. The episode shows how powerful companies could stop green energy from growing because they want to keep using oil and gas. This prediction is even more interesting today because we see green energy being pushed aside by big business and government slowdowns. If you think this prediction is surprising, wait till you see what's at the top of this list. Colonization of Mars. In a 1994 episode called Deep Space Homer, Homer Simpson becomes an astronaut and goes on a space mission. Back then, it seemed like just a funny story, but now, things are different. Scientists, including NASA and SpaceX, are working hard to make the dream of living on Mars a reality. In the episode, Homer ends up on a spaceship, and the idea of living in space doesn't feel so impossible anymore. In real life, space agencies are planning missions to Mars. NASA hopes to send humans to Mars by the 2030s, and SpaceX, led by Elon Musk, is pushing for a mission even sooner. The Simpsons made this idea look possible years before it became a real goal, and now people are starting to wonder if the show was right all along. Well, which of these predictions do you think is the most accurate?